Joe Zikas from YoChicago.com. I'm with Greg Eldridge, and Greg is with At Properties, and let's talk about Greg for a change. How are you weathering the downturn in the real estate business?
It's been an adventure, for sure. But I think it was, late, what would that be? Late 09, early 10 was really rough. It feels much more normal right now to me. I think certain pockets of the market are, I had a client in a multiple bid situation with 4 total offers on a Lakeview single family home, new construction. 4 offering, go figure, right? But that segment of the market in like the 1, 2, 1, 3 single family home range is just smoking hot right now. So there are certain segments of the market that are very normal / hot, and others are a little more challenging. But the ultimate goal is for whatever client that I'm working with, is to provide the best deal possible, whether I'm working with a buyer, making sure that they get the best deal that's possible, or on the listing side, really working the buyers and the other agents to make sure that they understand why we're priced like we are, what differentiates us from everything else, and getting a really good outcome for my client, the seller. So, one of the reasons that I moved to At Properties back in 02 is that they really provide agents like myself with an amazing amount of marketing resources, tools, etc., to allow us to do that fairly effortly and quickly. The amount of resources that we can bring to bear for a new listing or buyers, or whatever it is that we're confronted with on a day-to-day basis, At Properties is by far the best in the industry in Chicagoland, in my opinion. That's why we're #1, in the span of 10 years. So.
And you've had success working with some of the toughest customers in Chicago, the real estate developers.
Yeah, I've been very, very fortunate to work with some very, very good developers, and those guys. The JFJ Development, John Zitzman is one of the guys that I've worked a lot with. He is, it's very admirable how he maintains an even keel no matter what's going on day to day, and I think that's somewhat rare, because I've heard of some horror stories of other developers who are, yikes, that would be scary to deal with. But John is definitely not in that description. He is is a very even-tempered, keeping his eye on the ball and the goal, and it creates a really cool team work environment. So it's really a pleasure to work with him and sell his stuff.
You've tended to concentrate on the mid to upper ranges of the market, as I understand it.
Yeah, I tend to prefer dealing from a position where what I'm selling has very unique and differentiatable, if that's a word, characteristics from everything else in the market. I would have a little bit of a more difficult, it would be more difficult to me to get my arms around something that's just, like a dime a dozen sort of thing. I want something that I prefer to market things that are different, and that means getting more money for it. That's fine. I'm up for that challenge, but that is fun to me. I really enjoy sinking my teeth into something where, like what I said about educating other agents and their clients about why it's better. What is it that makes this worth the money? That to me is one of the fun things about this job. And to do that with just kind of a dime a dozen cookie cutter thing, that's not interesting to me. So, the JFJ development stuff, everything that John has done fits that totally. He is all about differentiating himself and, getting numbers that are, even in this market, really strong. And that's a fun challenge. I love it. It's very cool.
You're a city guy raising a family here?
Yes, I am. I moved to the western suburbs when I was 9, and then into the city when I was 18, and haven't left. So, love Chicago. It's an amazing. I always say that the only reason we have winters in Chicago is to keep everyone from moving here, because the summer in Chicago is the best time anywhere in the country. I think it's an amazing city. And just all the stuff that you can walk to, see, do any day. Pick something and you can do it. It's really an amazing place.
You can talk to people from a parent's perspective too.
Yeah, for sure. You know, I have an 8-year-old daughter, and then a son who is a junior at MSU, but he lived in the city through high school, and we've lived in various neighborhoods, and you know, it's amazing to be able to my daughter's way into softball, so you know, taking a glove and a bat and going across the street to a park and just, you know, that's a cool Chicago experience. Or just walking to the neighborhood, whatever, Potbelly or sandwich shop or Starbucks to just get a bite to eat and then go do something else, or go to a bookstore or a movie, or, you know, Chicago is an amazing place. I mean, I've, you know, lived in the suburbs when I was a kid, and I like being able to walk to stuff, you know, to be able not to have to get in a car to drive everywhere, which is, to me, the suburban experience. So, you know, I am an urban guy big time.